wonderful display of goaltending from both guys, and but they found a way and we didn't. So congratulate them for that.
Go to Evan and then John.
John, there's going to be a lot of conversation about the future of Steven Stamkos. What can you say about your captain, and if you can imagine him not wearing a white?
I don't know if there'll be much conversation. I hope not, anyway. He belongs here. We know it. He knows it. But again, this is 2 seconds after a game. But he and I've grown up together. And he's a heck of a player, but he's also, I suppose in control of his own destiny. But I don't know what's going to happen, but he feels like a bolt for life, but only he and Julian can answer that one.
John, go ahead.
Duclair seemed to suggest that the first 2 games of the series, they didn't have the emotion, the team didn't have the emotion that they had the rest of the series, and that maybe if they had come out with the same emotion as Florida, it would have been a little different. Did you see it that way at all?
I didn't, to be honest. I thought it was a pillow fight for 2 games. I think both teams were mandated to stay out of the muck. They weren't, like, we've had a lot of our regular season games were more violent and emotional than those first 2 games. So I think, either team, I don't think that was a factor. As these games got going, everything started to amp up, and but I don't know, I think I gave you a pretty good earlier breakdown on what happened in this series.
Ed, do you want to go back to your first question?
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna address this. So this is clearly a turning point in the game. If anybody's gonna talk about this game, they're gonna talk about the goals that were taken away. And in this league where goals are at a premium, and how all we've done is make the rules for more goal scoring. That's what we've done. And every year there seems to be something we tweak so more goals can be scored, and that's great. But there's mandates, and the words were to pull a goal off the board, it has to be unbelievably egregious. That's the standard, to pull a goal off the board. Well, the first one's on the board, and I couldn't find anything remotely egregious about that. It's really tough. Like, Forsling is holding on, like it's a full penalty. He's holding on to Duclair, so he's trying to yank. He's trying to get his balance. It really does affect nothing. Bob misses the puck, and it's a net front battle, and it's in the net. Like I can't. That's just the part for me. And then so now we have to rebound from that. We do, and then the next one is a net front battle, and I will give the goalie credit. He quit on the play. He completely quit. Didn't see it, didn't whatever, and then flailed, and there was, maybe incidental contact at most, and then, but now we have to challenge it, because they saw the reaction of the goaltender, and I don't know, Bob's doing the right, he duped him, and so be it. But now we have to make that challenge, and again, it's like, well, then is there net front battles aren't allowed anymore? And that's part of everybody's game. It's like the boxing out that goes there. It's like prison rules in the playoffs, but it's not prison rules for the goalie. Like the second something happens, like we might as well put skirts on them then, if that's how it's going to be. They have to battle through stuff too. And when the players are working so hard on both teams, and it's like I said, it's a war down there. I think we're letting the goalies off the hook, and they've got way more pads on than everybody else does. So, the egregious part, I couldn't see it, and so now we go into the third period, and this conversation is going down if we'd won 6-1, but we're going into the third period now, down 1, where maybe we're up 1, or maybe it's tied, and it's a different game. And I'll give our guys credit. We had some looks, in the third to tie it. And we don't, and then we kind of shot ourselves in the foot on the fourth one by, how we played that. But again, give Florida credit, they weathered that little storm we had, but it's the circumstance we were put in that I felt, again, this is just my opinion, I felt was, you know, a little unfair. And I just like the spirit of the rule of, especially in the playoffs, like, come on, how do you let those slide? Does this, by any means, we were gonna say we're gonna win the series? It does not. But would it have changed a lot of the momentum of this game and the way things had gone? I think so. So, you know, I'm not sitting up here like, again, this conversation probably that has that, you know, going on in my head. But like, Florida won the series. I mean, they won the series 4-1. It wasn't 4-3, and this was the game deciding. So, you know, they did a lot of work before this to put themselves in this situation, and they beat us.
Thank you.